I'm Go Via Go Home, and I want to welcome you back to my long overdue layout and channel update. I've been quite busy, as you could probably imagine, and I've been working on the layout an awful lot. I didn't really do any progression video while I was working away on it, just because I kind of got sidetracked and went to town a little bit. But I'm going to show you what it is that I've done and basically the entire layout as it is, just to show you how much I've actually gotten done in the past 3 months, because 3 months ago is actually when I did my last layout update, which was number 9. So this is number 10. Let's take a look and see what it is that I've done. Okay, so I'm going to start off my layout tour here on my first module, or module 1 as I like to call it, but this is 1A because we do have a center partition going down the middle of these modules here, just a little wall divider or scene divider. You'll see that obviously there's not too much done here, except for the fact that I do have track down. I do have a backdrop, but not too much scenery. So I just wanted to make sure I was able to get track down, make this, I guess the curve that comes this way here. I want to make sure that it was decent for, bigger trains, 6 axles and whatnot. So I definitely got that in. And then you'll see I've got 3 number 7s here, which is the left, 2 lefts and a right turnout. So basically, if you're there, coming in, you can go over to here. If you're here, you can go straight, or you can go up here. And if you're going in the opposite direction, you have the choice of here, if you're coming in on the middle. But obviously, if you're on the outside, well, Now, we go into module 2 here, which definitely does have a bit more scenery to it, which I'll get to. But when it comes to the tracks here, my main line, which is this one, and this is also a main line, but these are both for passenger, and they'll go around the entire layout, basically the entire circumference of the layout, which will go down there. But it goes around the entire main layout, and the odd time you'll get track that breaks off like this here into this switch, and basically that's for freight. So like the freight is also just an offshoot of the main, but it has its own tracks, obviously, because, well, you don't want to send your your freight through a passenger station. Just, you don't normally see that, but this is just how I want to have it. Also, this module here kind of almost represents Ajax Station. You can see that I've got the Walther's kit, and I had to get 2 of them to make it big enough. And you'll see it goes right down to module 3 there. But basically, started off here. So this is where the module starts. We're just right where this is. So it starts here. So I've got the abutment on that module, and then it goes into the bridge, and then into here, which this is all one piece right up to here, which you can sort of tell. Obviously, you see the crack there, but I wanted it to carry on, basically, and I wanted it to look like all one piece. So when you stand back, it kind of does. Kind of. But behind it, we've got, like I said, we've got the 2 tracks, which have concrete ties, just like Ajax Station. And there's 2 tracks running behind the actual station here for freight. And you'll see that if you follow the road, which kind of goes upwards, and you've got a drop here with your retaining wall. There's going to be a station in here, train station, because this is all flat. It's flat ground. And you've got a wall on the back side. And you've got stairs going up to the station as well. And you've got a retaining wall there as well for this, whatever I put in here, because that's going to be a higher ground. So that's neat as well. That I have obviously that much as far as retaining wall. I even have more pieces that I can use probably somewhere else on my layout. And the fact that I had to paint all these railings green, it was a lot of work, but still it has to be done. And I still have to add lights to these here. I'm gonna probably do one set of lights here, one set of lights here, or three. I'm not too sure what to do yet as far as lights, but I'll get to that. These are lit. I have a light under here and a light under here under both bridges, so under there and under there as well. They all light up, and the cables are just hanging underneath until I get more of the easy peasy lighting system, and then I'll hook it all together and it'll all be lit up. These are all painted, but I still have to dull coat it and weather it as well. And I'm obviously going to want to fill all this in here depending on what I do as far as scenery for that. And yeah, that's basically this entire section here. And then we move over to module 3, which is just exiting the actual train station there. And you'll see that it kind of comes to a halt here in this general area because I've been working on this. None of this track is actually glued down until I'm done that bridge and road section. But this is all soldered together, so it's all one piece. So I can drive the train to at least here, and that's it. So I can't wait to get more of this done and continue it along. And I'll obviously have to fill this in here and continue the road and kind of make it come this way. And that's all going to be road right along down to there, because this is supposed to be a highway here. Highway, and then you go off the highway. And then, yeah, then you're down to the street level. So I'm going to have some buildings in behind here. And I'm going to have a section here where the track from the freight goes up and goes back, but it's going to go to there. And it's the wall, so it's supposed to go off into the distance, but it doesn't really matter. Who cares? It is what it is. But I haven't really gotten too far with the freight yet, and none of this cork is actually down, so still have to do all that. But yeah, and even with this module here, I have switches for it and whatnot, but I still have to bring it up, put the wood going across, and fill it in accordingly. But yeah, that's all I've got for this side. You can see it's where I lay my junk and all of my painting stuff and whatnot. And I got my temporary curtain up here just for when I do the lives, because this is normally what people will see, and I wanted to have a nice background for it. So, but let's take a look on the other side of the wall, because we've got much more going on over there. Okay, so this is the top of the layout, still module 1, but this is the B side. So just going to show you what I have here. I really need to take a vacuum to this. Sorry, guys. And look at all this track work. That's a lot of switches there. Lots of crossovers, or diamonds, I should say. And as I move down here, you'll see the elevated curve. So that curve there is super elevated. And we go down, and I know it's kind of hard to see the track because there's a train on top, but there is track under it. And it's all glued down and everything. So we're going to move down here, and you'll see that there's a couple of switches under there. Splits into 2, plus there's a track here that's going to come up and up on this side for an industry. Probably have 2 or 3 tracks there for that. And there is... it's right here. There's a switch there which should go up like this. And then I'm going to have a couple of switches with a diamond so that I can do some background stuff here. You know, just to do some background buildings and drop off industries right along here. And then it should connect right to that one under the boxcar. And yeah, so then it breaks off into two because it's a single line right up. And then it comes down, breaks into two, as you can see here. As if I didn't have enough gondolas. And then it goes into this section where it curves around across my little bridge here. And then goes into another messy part of the layout. And under the car bridge into where North Bay Station, or not station, but yard is. So we're just going to come back this way real quick and go up. Follow the gondolas. And we're back up here. So that's kind of an overview here of this section. Cool. And I've got to add, as you can see where the paper switches are, we got to add more switches there. Coming in and out of the yard, and also continuing the track up that way once the wall is put back together. That's all dry now. It's all fixed. So we'll probably put that back together soon. That way I can put my modules back in that corner and continue on the track right around along the back wall there. I did have some extra track, so I just laid it down here. This is where my yard is going to be. And I'm excited to have a yard finally. Place where I can put all my track or my cars and whatnot when I'm not using them. Now that I'm starting to get more. But I'm nowhere near being able to do this section yet. I'm not there, so I mean this is just temporary for now. And obviously all my extra track, extra ties, cut off pieces, that's all here. Still have my prop buildings here that I'm just using for now until I get the materials. I actually have somebody that is, actually it's the same gentleman that did all my caps for me. He's 3D printing like 80 some odd windows for me so I can do this entire build. That's going to take a little bit, so no rush there because it is the North Bay shops. So I definitely want to take my time with it and make it look good. But we're gonna take a look from that side there, pointing this way, just to see from that side what I'm working on. So you can see from the long bend there, they come down, and if you're on the outside, of course we've got the super elevated on the outside. It's a nice curve that goes up and around, so that's cool, it's very smooth. And then this one here, which comes down from the cork and then down flat, because it's gotta go flat and parallel with these ones here, which go into the yard. Still have to run another track here to go up into here, but none of that makes sense until I do get my turntable, which will eventually go in this area here. That way I can run my track from it and then right into here. So I'm still gonna wait on that. No real rush there. Got my new CP locomotive here, just sitting here for now. And I notice it's really dark. Hold on a second. There we go. Bit more light, bit more. This module is still here. Still, it's just collecting supplies that I've been using. So it just sits here until I need it. And then once everything goes back together, for example, my bridge module, it's on the floor there because it has no legs to it. Until I'm able to put it back connecting here and here, then it's just going to sit on the floor. But as for all this here, I've got mainline and I've got other track down here. I'm trying to keep as close to prototype as I can without totally botching it, but at the same time trying to make a large area fit into a smaller area. It's not easy at all. So, but I do have track that will go from here into a switch there, and then it'll continue on into there. So I have extra parts and I have all the parts. It's just a matter of finding time to actually do it. And I think that's my biggest challenge, because I have so many things on the go, so many things that I'm working on, but trying to find time to get it all done, that's a different story. So I'll see what I can do, but no promises. It's just, yeah, it takes a long time to do any of this and all of it. Especially because I'm doing most of this by myself. I use white glue, which you can kind of see the white glue, right? Like it's all dry, but at the same time, it's like it takes forever for it to actually dry. So doing piece by piece, you know, and I put my weights on it just to hold it in place, and it doesn't go anywhere. Like it doesn't go anywhere. Like it just stays there, which is fine. It works. And if I ever need to remove it, just a couple of spurts of water, I guess, and just a flat chisel would lift it right up, and then I can reuse most, if not all of it. Wiring is another thing. Like I've got wiring down on my main, but you can see like a place like this here, these aren't even attached. Like I need to add those on there. I had red wire, but I ran out of black wire. So now that I have another roll, which I did pick up, I'll be able to do more wiring. So all of this still needs to be connected, and I'll be able to continue the power on through. But when I do my control panels, which I'll show you in a minute here, it's all based off how many tracks are exiting and entering a module, and I like to put it all on one board. Let me show you I have little boards that I use for my electrical, and I think I'll show you how we do that. So here we have a little piece of wood with my wire connectors here. You'll notice, obviously technically there's two different colors. We've got our red and our black or green, right? Because I had a bunch of extra green as well, so I just did that. All these are jumping the terminals, and all these are the positives from up above, right? So you can see them coming through. This here, technically, where is it? So this is one track here. It's one black and one red. So the red wire goes to one of these, and the black wire goes to one of those. And then they come down both into here and here, which I have one positive and one negative that run to one of these, and that is just like a plug. And if I ever need to move, I just unplug it, and then the module electricity has been separated. But I plug it in together, and then it goes over to the next one here, and it goes into the bottom. And then from the middle, because this one's actually done, this continues on through like a bus wire, goes up through, and it goes over to this one. And then I've got my jumper there that goes to the next one as well, and it continues along. And yeah, that's how I do my wiring. So it basically jumps from one to the next, and I've got a whole bunch of feeders that are drop down, and then I just have to connect them to the sides. So I still have some extra spots here on both of these, because I know how many tracks are going across in total. So I just bring the wire over, plug it in, screw it, and then it's good. So the big question is, what do I still have to do to get a loop going? Well, I mean, it's not much, but at the same time, it's still quite a bit. I have to continue on the track right along here, up. I have the module for this corner here, but there's absolutely no wood on it. It's just the frame. So I have to build a base for it, and then I have to connect it, run the cork, and go on a curve going like this to this wall here. I do have this here, but from what I'm seeing right now, like this is only a foot wide. I have enough room that I can make it wider. So I'm thinking of redoing this and possibly my bridge module just so that I can make them wider. That's something that, I mean, it's kind of bothering me, but at the same time, like I'm not in a rush for that. But to continue my main line, yeah, I would need these both done. So I'll most likely look into redoing them once I get this wall fixed. But once I continue on and I go along, I go into this module, which the track is already down. It's already ready to go. And it goes around, comes around to here. I do have a very small module that it sits here and it comes this way and it stops right at the door frame here. And it already has cork on it. It's raised up high enough. I just have to add the track from there going across it. Then I have to build two more sections. One right up against that wall there. It's only going to be maybe about 5-6 inches wide from the wall because, I mean, this section here is not that wide. So the smaller it is, the better. It's just really to bring trains from here around to the wall and then right across to there. So that's it. That's all I have to do. And then run the track, obviously, from there, right along, curve, right along the wall and down. And then that's it. And then I've got a full loop. So I'm almost there. Basically, the way it goes is that, let's say, for example, this train here. So let's do it as if we're following this train. So it's going to go down the main. It's going to go all the way down here. Sorry for the shakiness. And because it's here, it's going to go right across to the outside. That's where the station is, on the other side of that portal there. Let's go take a look. So it's going to come through on this track here. Then it can obviously go into either one of these tracks and come through. And then eventually when it gets to here, it comes out and goes right against the wall. It's going to go along the wall, around the corner, along here, and back to here, which in turn would put you back on that track on the outside, and you'd go back to the station. Now, at some point, you'll be able to cross from here to here to here, and if you come in on this track here, which should be freight, then you'll cross right through two diamonds down to where the Ontario Northland is, and you'll follow that snake all the way back to here. So it's almost like an outside loop with an inside loop with a cross in the middle somewhere, only if you need to, right? That's kind of how the layout is going to be, and I'm really excited to run more trains, but until I get more track down, more modules built, decide what kind of structures I'm going to be using. I'm going to be, it's a slow process. It really is a slow process. And, I'm just chipping away at it. And I'm still thinking I should go wider than a foot here because I have the room. Like, there's lots of room here. So I think I might bring this out. And same thing with down here. I originally had it where it was just going to be a foot section here and then going across and then around. But I think I might bring it right out to here and then put a control panel right up against it. And then, yeah, just fill in the section more, give me more area to do things, activities, more industries, scenery, stuff like that. Well, guys, thanks for joining us on layout update number 10. I hope you saw a bunch of stuff that you liked. I'm going to try to do this more frequently. I'll make a point to anyways. I know a lot of people like watching progression of layouts and whatnot, as well as running trains. I hope to be running trains more frequently, sooner than later as well. So stay tuned for that. Also, if you guys have been watching my GBO After Dark, you obviously saw the other day where I'm putting together a contest, but I need people's emails so that I can send out a survey. If you want to take part in the survey, my email is actually going to be in the description of this video. Send me an email saying that you want to be part of the contest, and I'm going to send you a quick survey just based off of the GVO After Dark. I want to know how we're doing. I want to know what you like, what you don't like, constructive feedback, obviously. And, I just want to make a better live for everyone. So let us know how we're doing. And you could be entered into a contest to win some neat prizes. And obviously, it's going to have to do with model railroading, obviously. So I always find that I have some good prizes. So and everybody seems to like them. So anybody who's won, anyways. So it's something to look forward to. Until then, I'm going to go home. I have a train to catch. See ya.